Hello, my name is Dr. Ben Thompson. I'm an audiologist and tinnitus specialist. If you pronounce the word tinnitus, that's okay. You can pronounce it either way. When I studied and was an audiology resident in San Francisco, California, at a major hospital, my focus was on tinnitus. And that's where I learned that, hey, doctors call this sound tinnitus. As a specialist in this field and someone who's personally dedicated the last years of my life to understanding tinnitus, I want to introduce myself and say that you are in good hands. I want you to have the best information and education about tinnitus. Today's video is going to cover 11 common tinnitus sounds, and this is actually a repeat new video of one that I made a few years ago when I started this YouTube channel back in 2020 at the beginning of COVID in my apartment in California. Since then, I've started a telehealth online company for tinnitus, and we've helped hundreds of tinnitus patients every month recover and improve from their condition. If you're interested in medical devices for tinnitus and the leading treatments via telehealth, we work nationwide. Please contact us and find out what is available for you. You can go to TrebleHealth.com. As I said earlier, this video was one of the most popular videos that I made back a few years ago. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel to get the best, highest quality information on tinnitus that you can find. So I want you to listen to this in a quiet room and really ask yourself, what kind of tinnitus do I have? Do I have one type out of these 11, or do I have a mix of different kinds? And then in the comments below, as we did with our original video, we are going to ask each of you who's watching to leave a comment of what kind of tinnitus do I have. So we're going to label them number 1, number 2, number 3, etc., but they each also have a specific name. So listen closely, pay attention, write down in the comments which type of tinnitus you have. Fortunately, there are treatments and methods for every kind of tinnitus out there. Listen to the end of the video, at which time I will explain the implications for depending on what kind of tinnitus sound you have. What should you know? What are the nuances that are unique to your specific type of tinnitus? Thank you for being here. Let's get started and make sure you subscribe to our channel. Nice job, everyone. This is Dr. Ben here again. As an audiologist, I've had thousands of conversations with individuals who have tinnitus. And one of the common questions that we want to know is, what type of sound do you hear? And how loud is it on a scale of 1 to 10? And is it in one ear or both ears? Depending on those answers, it really directs my recommendations for you. If you have just a mild, very low tinnitus, say a 1, 2, or a 3, then I may have some basic information about sound therapy, sleep management, and some basic mental strategies or how to control your reaction to the sound when you hear it. That may be all you need to reduce the sound over time through a mental process called habituation. If you're new here, let me explain what habituation is. On the image on the screen, you'll see there's 4 stages of habituation. And for people who develop bothersome tinnitus, typically they would seek help from our team if they're in stage 1 or stage 2. In those stages, tinnitus is bothering us every day. It's hard to concentrate, it's annoying, and it's hard to take our attention away from the tinnitus. It's often accompanied by trouble sleeping or a change of behaviors and having to modify everyday activities to alter or react because you have this sound in your ears. Fortunately, with the leading treatments that are available right now, you can promote this natural brain process called habituation to get to stage 4 of habituation. And at stage 4 of habituation, the sound of tinnitus is barely noticed, and you can quickly redirect your attention away from it when you hear it. Oftentimes during that process, the habituation process, starting at stage 1 or stage 2 and making your way to stage 4, patients can habituate. This is irrespective of how loud your tinnitus is. And there are nuances to this, and this is where having a professional involved, like an audiologist at Treble Health, can be very beneficial for you to reduce and improve your tinnitus. And let me also share a message of hope that this happens all the time, and this is something that we see a lot in our practice. So please do have the hope, be positive about this, do what you can, have treatment if that's something that you need that's recommended by a tinnitus specialist, and proceed, because life can improve as it does for many patients with tinnitus.
This is a short break from today's video to announce the Tinnitus Guide by Treble Health. Do you want to learn about the newest tinnitus treatments and management tips? Click the link in the description of this video to get your free copy of the Tinnitus Guide by Treble Health.
Now, as promised, we're going to speak about each different type of tinnitus, starting with number 1, pure tone. A pure tone sound, this is most commonly heard in both ears or the center of the head. And this is something that is probably the most common type of tinnitus sound. Some might describe it as a high-pitched ringing or a pure tone. Number 2 is white noise. This is something where, again, commonly heard in both ears or center of the head. White noise could be it could be sometimes described as a hissing, and what it sounds like, sometimes patients describe it as the static from one of those old televisions that's not on any channel, but it's on. When you hear that static white noise, that's a very common description for what patients describe to us. Number 3 would be a true static noise. This is when that crackling, high-pitched white noise, broadband sound is playing, and that static noise is, again, often heard in both ears. Number 4 is buzzing. This is a bit of a lower pitch sound, and some might describe it as the buzzing of bees. This typically is heard in both ears as well. Number 5 is jet engine. Similar to a roaring sound, this has a bit more of a hollow sound to it, and it's a bit lower pitch in general. This may be related to a certain type of hearing loss and is commonly heard in both ears or the center of the head. Number 6, the hissing sound or the tea kettle, very distinct sound, sometimes heard in just one ear. And if we hear that, for example, that, I woke up randomly, I hear this high-pitched hissing or high-pitched tea kettle sound just in one ear, that would be a signal that we're going to request specific medical tests to rule out a physical cause to the tinnitus. Having a tea kettle or a hissing sound in both ears is also common as well. Number 7 is electrical noise. This is a high-pitched sound that has that electrical wavering and electrical frequency changes associated with it. And when you hear this kind of sound, it is most commonly in the center of the head or 2 ears as well. This is pretty similar in terms of the origin of why you have it, the cause. It's very similar to the other sounds that I've listed on this list so far. Number 8, this is cicadas or crickets. Some individuals with tinnitus do report that the sound they hear is like cicadas or the crickets rubbing their chirping sound, making their chirping sound together. This is not so common, but it can be reported. And even on our sound therapy video, which uses crickets, some patients say, hey, this is the same thing that I hear in my ears. So that's validating here that some patients do hear crickets in the ears. Most commonly, this is heard in both ears as well. Number 9 here is pulsing. This would be oftentimes consistent with the pulsing of one's heartbeat. And there are different cardiovascular type of conditions that a pulsing sound in the ears can actually be related to another part of the body or a certain part of the ear where the blood going through that system is being picked up and your ear is picking up that sound like a microphone that's too sensitive. and it picks up sounds that are people walking by and you hear some pulsating sound. Similar thing can happen with the ear. So that would be a signal, especially when it's in one ear, for us to order some other medical tests and have the pulsing sound being investigated by an ear, nose, and throat ENT doctor, physician. Number 10 is whooshing. This is sometimes related to some medical conditions like eustachian tube dysfunction. Low pitch whooshing can also happen. This could be in one ear or both ears. This also could be related to a low frequency or a low pitch hearing loss. And finally, number 11, this is ocean or roaring. Again, if you have a low pitch hearing loss, Meniere's disease, anything like that, you could hear this ocean or this roaring sound. And that typically is in one ear, but it also can be in both ears. So depending on your hearing test, etc., other medical results, we would be able to put the piece of the puzzle together and understand why do you have your tinnitus. I hope that was helpful. If you haven't already, please do give this video a thumbs up so that other people like you can watch and learn information. I like to think of what we do like this. If you are in your local area searching for a tinnitus specialist, there might be a very long wait time to find someone. They might not even have that much time to answer your hardest questions. And you frankly might not have someone like that in your local area. So for all of those reasons, the feedback that I get about my YouTube channel here is very positive and the community really loves what we're doing. So that's our mission, to provide high quality information and educate you about tinnitus, because having tinnitus does not mean anything is permanently broken. Despite tinnitus often being linked to different degrees of hearing loss and hearing inevitably getting worse for every single one of us, that does not mean your tinnitus will get worse over time as your hearing changes and gets worse over time. This is something that exemplifies how having the right information about this condition is so key and so important. So please do reach out to one of our specialists at TrebleHealth.com and find out more about our leading tinnitus treatment, working with sound therapy devices on the ears, and having one-on-one personalized counseling for this condition. The research has shown that is the best treatment available right now. Thanks for being here. Thank you for watching. You know what to do. Subscribe, like, comment, and of course, I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching today's video with Treble Health. Check out our next video by clicking the button on this screen or another recommended video. And if you're not already, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks so much. See you on the next video.